Hi, everybody. This is Haley and Angie. She's filming me right now. She's here.
Hello.
I thought it would be nice to do an update about Angie and her journey with getting a professional and official diagnosis of ADHD. It's been a little over a year that she got the official diagnosis. It was in June of 2021. And I wanted to ask her some questions. She agreed. So I'm gonna have her take over. So honey.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
So, babe.
Yes.
It has been a little over a year since your ADHD diagnosis.
Yes, it has.
And I want to know where you're at a year later. Do you feel better? Has anything improved? Where are you at?
Things have gotten better since my diagnosis. Yeah, I've just learned so much more about myself and how my brain works. I've learned tips and tricks on how to, maybe adjust things in my daily life so I can just make things work and I don't run into the same struggles as before.
And why was a diagnosis so important to you to gain?
A diagnosis was so important for me. Number one, just for the validation to say, yes, I definitely do indeed have ADHD, and this is how my brain works, and this is why it works. And it's just very important to have that confirmation and the validation from somebody in the professional world. Even though when you have something like ADHD, you know what's going on in your experience and in your world and in your life, but in order for things to work out in the external world, it helps to have that official diagnosis from the professional field.
And
oh, there's another part to that, sorry. And the second reason why it's very important, I feel, to get a diagnosis is because of statistics. It helps provide data to inform the diagnostic criteria to show what ADHD can look like in different people, in adults, in women, in non-binary people, in men. It always presents itself different with the same underlying basic principles. So it just makes for better diagnostic criteria to include a bigger picture of what ADHD is and how it presents in different people.
So, have you learned anything new, honey, about yourself since gaining this diagnosis? And have you learned anything new about ADHD in general in about a year and a half's time?
Yeah, good question. I have learned a lot of things in the past year or so since I've gotten the diagnosis. Significantly, I've learned a lot about my own personal, how my brain works and my own habits, daily habits, and things I can tweak and change to help function a little better on a daily basis. I've learned what to worry about and what not to. I've learned to accept my brain, how my brain works differently. And yeah, it's hard for me to think of specifics right now.
Okay.
That's how my ADHD works. I have all this knowledge in my head, but I can't always spit it out, what I know, if that makes sense. And honestly, I don't know if that's the ADHD or the autism or both. yeah, I have learned a lot of tips and tricks to work with having ADHD and autism in a world that isn't designed for either. So, yeah.
Now, I know executive functioning is uh, something that is affected by both ADHD and autism. Have you noticed any improvements in that area?
Yes, I have actually. I'm able to focus better and pay better attention. Um, again, just learning tips and tricks on how to change my daily habits to make it work for me and how my brain functions. For instance, turning off my phone and all electronics in my bedroom and keeping them away from me while I'm sleeping helps me get a better sleep. And getting perfect sleep is very important in my brain function, as it is for everyone, but it's especially important for people with ADHD. So that's one thing I've learned. I've learned to consciously remind myself to continuously drink water, because that's one thing that ADHD people forget or just don't think about doing, is staying hydrated throughout the day. So I've learned certain tricks to remind myself to keep drinking water, and things like eating snacks throughout the day, healthy snacks throughout the day, because we also have hardships around eating and meals and meal preparation. Sitting down and preparing 3 meals a day for me, like a normal person, doesn't work. So I've learned to just, remind myself, why am I feeling a certain way or in a certain mood? Is it because I'm hungry? Do I need to eat? Do I have time to eat? So then I'll go fix myself a really easy snack. Really easy. It's okay to cut corners as long as you're getting nutrition, you're eating. Cut corners just like, little hacks to feeding yourself, getting fed. Packaged snacks. Sometimes it's the way to go for ADHD people. It's not always good in the long run for everybody to always have packaged food, but for us, it makes things a little easier. Or like, this isn't always affordable, and I wish it was, doing things like Factor or boxed meals that are fresh and healthy. You just pop it in the microwave. They deliver it to your house. It only lasts in the fridge for so long because it is fresh. And you just pop it in the microwave for a couple minutes, and it's delicious. And that is a godsend for someone with ADHD, because, like you said, with the executive functioning piece of it, the thinking about what you want, the planning, the shopping, the prep, the this, the that, the cleaning up, it's hell for a person with ADHD. It's absolute, like, just blah. So,
It's a daunt.
it's a daunt. So it's, go easy on yourself. If something is going to make your life easier and work better with the way your brain works, you're not lazy. It's just a tool to help you get by in life, being a person with ADHD. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It just means you have to do things a little different. Now, it kind of goes, some of the things like ordering out, that kind of thing goes against my principle of providing more packaging, pollution, the environment, stuff like that, plastic use. I'm not down with that. But if they can come up with an environmentally friendly ADHD hack for preparing meals, for instance, that would be great. So
what, if any, advice can you give someone that was in your shoes a year plus years ago, where you didn't have the diagnosis, and the person like you who is struggling to figure out why they're feeling similarly to how you were feeling before you got your diagnosis? What advice can you give those individuals?
So, one bit of advice that I can give to an adult with ADHD,
undiagnosed,
is don't doubt yourself, number one. You're the boss and the expert of your own experiences in your life. No one can tell you who you are or how you perceive the world. Don't doubt yourself. If you think you have ADHD, you most likely do. People, it's the same with autism. People with ADHD or autism don't go around seeking like people who don't have ADHD or autism don't go around seeking a diagnosis. They don't. Like, that something's up. Your brain functions differently. Your struggles. So don't doubt yourself, number one. Number two, there's tons and tons of blogs and, YouTubers out there that give great resources and information about being an adult with ADHD and adult with autism. They're not the same thing. Some people will say their ADHD and autism are on the same spectrum. They're not. They're two different things, but they're both neurodivergencies, and they often go together. Like if you have one, you have both. Oftentimes, not all the time.
And you have both.
I have both. Yes.
Officially diagnosed.
So reach out. There are resources online. Just be careful where you get your information from.
And to everyone again who doesn't know, how did you get your ADHD diagnosis? She doesn't remember, so I will tell everyone. I found a website for her online called ADHDonline.com. And that is where she gained her diagnosis. You do have to pay some money up front to take this test. I don't remember how long the test took her, but I think it was like $100 up front, and you take this test, and they give you the results back within, I would say, less than 48 hours. She got her results. And it's very thorough. It's all above board. It's, she's
accredited and all that.
Yeah. So if you want to know more about that website, go to ADHDonline.com. Not sponsored.
Yeah, so I can't believe that bit of information just left my mind, but that happens. Yes, so it's been such a long time, and I had the autism test since then too, as well. So
was that done online as well?
That was online, and unfortunately, it costs. So it's not very economically friendly if you don't have a lot of money, which is very unfortunate. They need to make it easier. That's another reason why getting a diagnosis is so important, because to have a better and more thorough criteria of what it looks like in different people, we won't have to go through all this, like paying extra money out of our pocket to make it official what we already know. We've made videos about this too. The information is out there. I just have a hard time recalling information right now.
And it's been over a year.
It's been over a year. So, what was the question?
What advice?
Oh, advice. Yeah, so those are some resources for you if you're seeking a diagnosis. Hopefully things will get better for us, and it won't be so costly to get a formal diagnosis. And you're going to run into some difficulty with mental health professionals and doctors. They're just not well informed about these things. So try to seek out professionals who are neurodivergent informed and neurodivergent affirming. Because if you're not an 8-year-old boy who's bouncing out the walls and never turns his homework in, all these very stereotypical, often wrong symptoms of ADHD. If you don't fit that mold, they're going to say, oh no, you don't have ADHD. You're just depressed. You just have anxiety, this and that. which could be true also. I mean, going your whole life undiagnosed, yeah, you're going to have some mental health problems for sure, no doubt. Living in a world that is confusing and that is not cut out for you and you don't understand why, yes, I can confirm that does cause mental health issues. So, yeah, that's my advice. Just hang in there. Don't doubt yourself. Don't let anybody doubt you. If someone is not willing to listen to you about your concerns of possibly having ADHD, find a different doctor or a different mental health professional. There are professionals out there that will help you. So stay strong. You're valid. And yeah, I wish for you the best.
Well, there you have it, everyone. Thank you, honey, for touching on this again and revisiting the ADHD topic for you. I know a lot of people will be interested in hearing what you have to say, and I appreciate you just being open about it because it does help people. It really does. So thank you.
And thank you, honey, for Thank you, honey, for being so supportive and wanting to revisit the topic and follow up. So, yeah, I love you.
I love you too. And we love you all.
We love you guys.
And we will see you all soon. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm going to be chuggy and say,
Chugi.
please hit that like button. And if you're not following us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it.
Yes.
All right. Peace and love.
Peace and love, guys. Bye.